Ugh. Oh, hi.
Hi. Just me so far.
Well, you're 3 minutes early, so
Oh, I just needed to click it, so I clicked it.
I'm not offended that you're 3 minutes early. I appreciate the enthusiasm.
There's
Sarah,
Hi.
hello.
I just got out of the shower, so.
Perfect. You look so fresh.
How are you?
I'm excellent. I just left our mutual friend Nina.
Aw, she's lovely.
Isn't she just good people?
Yeah.
Sarah, Callie, um, you guys
Hi.
didn't get a chance to meet at the big kickoff meeting we had last week because Sarah was not part of the program yet. But now she
Oh,
is. And we're excited to have her.
Yeah. Hi, Callie.
hi. How are you? How was it catching up?
Oh, I mean, I haven't. I didn't really understand what was going on, and that's partially. I'm in Bali right now, and so the time difference is like making it so that I don't get emails until about 12 hours after they've been sent.
Oh, wow.
So I was like just reading the emails from today. Anyway, it's fine. I
What
feel
time is it
fine.
there?
It is 9 a.m.
Oh my goodness, we've gone international.
Good job, guys.
The Wi-Fi is amazing. We had someone in Bushwick the other day and could barely keep a connection going. So good
I
on
gotta tell
Bali.
you, we actually just got Wi-Fi yesterday, so If that's not the universe
Are you
talking,
living
I
in
don't know.
Bali? Or
Yeah.
are you on? Oh, you are. What?
Mhm. I know. Come visit. All of you. Just come visit.
You live
I
there.
might actually do that. I would be cool.
Yeah. Feel free. I have a spare room. It's good.
That's
wow.
amazing. Hey, Jesse.
Hey there.
All right, man.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
I've never done a Google Hangout before. It's weird. It's like all flashing. I'm getting confused.
Oh, wait. Okay.
I should be a little clearer now.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah,
Great.
Callie, you'll get used to this flashing. It's whatever volume is the loudest. Google decides to like flash over to that screen, so it'll be less
Okay.
abrupt when we're not all just having conversation.
Drinking soda is very loud, it seems.
So Jesse is another new face. So some of us got a chance to meet at the kickoff meeting in LA, but Sarah, who is in Bali and just out of the shower, was not there. Jesse is in New York, so wasn't at the kickoff meeting. Kelly was at the kickoff meeting. So we'll give it another couple of minutes. It's always an adventure kind of figuring out who's chiming in and who's not, but we heard a few more RSVPs. So we'll give people a couple minutes to chime in, and then we'll do some kind of quick introduction since this is a first time for a lot of us meeting, and then we'll dive right into the check-in.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Absolutely. So Sarah, I know it's all pretty new to you, and we can talk offline. If it's ever easier just to get on a quick call to kind of get caught up on everything, we're happy to do that. Sinan.
Hey.
How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. We're giving ourselves a couple more minutes to see who chimes in, and then we're going to do some quick introductions because we got some new faces, and we'll dive right in.
Okay.
Whoa. What is that? Did you guys hear that?
I did. I'm still hearing it.
That's so crazy. I feel like somebody's calling in.
I think they are.
I don't know how to answer the call. There's no button that says like answer. That's new. Maybe they didn't like the link. They decided to go a different route. Maybe they're doing it from their phone or like an Android device. Google is a little bit proprietary. It doesn't even like working on like non-Chrome browsers. So that may have been someone trying to call in. I'm not really sure what to do about that. Amber, who you guys have, some of which have emailed with Amber, she's sort of our tech guru. And I don't know that much about Google Hangouts, to be perfectly honest. So we're learning things. Oh, Megan. Oh, I see. Okay, hold on. It was coming in on my Safari account. Oh, good Lord, that's confusing. Not really sure I'll be able to accept Megan's call. Well, I'll work on that while we're kind of doing introductions over here. Oh, Megan!
Hi!
Hurrah!
I
You
did
called
it.
in, and we didn't know how to answer, and now you're here. So
Okay,
life
good.
is working.
Good. Sorry, I'm joining from work, so I'm just gonna call in. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
We have your awesome avatar of you with an old Pentax
From
camera.
College. Cool.
It looks super college school. I love it.
I should update at some point.
So I think we're still waiting for Zach and Hannah, who I assume will be joining in. Oh, and possibly Kimmy also. Oh, and there's Zach right there. And there's Hannah right there.
Holy shit.
All right. Hey guys.
Hi, guys.
We have everyone except for Kimmy, but Kimmy
I don't
was...
think Kimmy's going to make it.
Yeah, I didn't think she RSVP'd, so that's perfect. We have everybody here. Hoorah, let's dive right in. So we've got a bunch of new faces. So Zach and Sinan and Hannah and Callie were all at the kickoff meeting that we did in LA last Monday. So they've all met each other and heard each other's pitches. But Sarah and Megan and Jesse are new to either new to the program entirely and just catching up or couldn't make the kickoff meeting. So what we're going to do today, if this works for everybody, is, and we did this on the last check-in and it worked out well, so the people that have heard each other's proposals, as opposed to redoing your entire proposal. Just give us the brief rundown of what you're going to be doing project-wise, and then dive right into that weekly check-in, assuming that you've had a chance to look at that. For people that haven't had a chance to pitch their project, I'm assuming Jesse, Megan, and I'm guessing, Sarah, you haven't even had a chance to pick a project and really dive in. Sarah's brand new to this, guys, by the way.
Like yesterday new.
She's a late addition because we had one person drop out, so we decided to fill their shoes. So I'm guessing, Sarah, that you don't have a project picked out. So
yeah, I can. Yes, I think I do.
So what the format is 4 minutes of talking and 2 minutes of feedback. I'm going to keep a clock on it, and I guess to say this is that you can use that time for whatever feels most helpful for you, right? So if it's pitching that proposal and asking for feedback, if it's just using the time to kind of check in and ask for some accountability, or I guess those would be the main two things. So if that works for everybody, then we'll just kind of go around the room. Moving forward, these weekly check-ins are really meant to be about personal accountability, right? It's like we've got this small group of people, and we're here to provide each other with this kind of accountability week in, week out. So it's about showing up to this group every week and saying, here's what I've accomplished, here are my wins, here are my shortcomings, but like moving forward this next week, when I see all your lovely faces again next week, here's where I hope I'm at, here's what I hope I've accomplished. And the idea is that the power of having these other people hear you commit to that publicly will really help that happen. So this first one is going to be a little bit different, I think, for the next 7 that we do during this process. They'll kind of be a lot more straightforward and smooth, if that's cool. With all that said, are there any questions or comments? Does everyone feel good about that?
Yeah. Sounds great.
Awesome.
Headphones?
Sorry?
I feel like the thing is
Headphones, yeah. Are you guys in the same room?
Yeah, exactly in the same room.
I can hang mine up and.
Yeah, why don't you just go join Hana? You guys can be on the same little
Yeah.
screen.
I'm gonna distant. I don't know how to distant.
I think it's fucking with
Put
the whole
headphones.
I'm gonna finish that.
Come on,
Love
buddy.
it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
The miracle of technology. So assuming, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people to do check-ins. That's 6 minutes apiece. So we're looking at like 42 minutes right here. So I would love to dive right in and do that. Is there anyone that wants to volunteer to go first? Should we just go from
I don't
left
mind
to
going
right?
first.
All right, Zach's ready. Well, I will start the clock. The floor is yours.
Can you shut the door?
I should have got my laptop to start. I already started on the project. I know that we weren't supposed to start working yet. I already started taking photos. I'm doing a photo essay, by the way, following my mother around, taking photos of her and her day-to-day, and I've already actually spent 2 days with her, just following her around while she's making food, while she's going grocery shopping, things like that. I've looked at a few artists that have done photo essays about their mothers, 2 of which were actually sent to me by, one by Callie, one by you, Matthew, and one was given to me by Hana. My wins this week, I actually sat down and did some work as far as research, as far as looking at photo contests, as far as small galleries that are around me on La Brea, just doing research online, which I'm not really good at, so that was a win. Fails, I feel that I could have used my time a little bit more productively versus going to the beach on Saturday and Sunday. Or even incorporating that, like taking my mother to the beach with me and having that be a really good photo opportunity. Just incorporating the project into my day-to-day life, which I'm lucky enough that that could be so easily done. What are you committed doing differently next week? Just using my time much more efficiently, just being very resourceful when it comes to online research, incorporating it into mine, and continuing to shoot. What would you like your cohorts to hold you accountable for? If you guys ask me next week, how productive are you or were you in the past week from 1 to 10, I would be honest with you. So just accountability, just being more productive and using my time less leisurely and more towards getting a good 24 images by the time this is all said and done. And as far as feedback that's most helpful, if anybody has ever done this kind of photo essay, because I've never done anything like it, then by all means, any feedback is welcome. You don't have to be precious with your feedback. I'm pretty good at taking everything with a grain of salt, but also with a lot of gratitude and open ears. So that's just where I'm at after this 1 week without being too mumbly all over the place.
Awesome. There's 1 minute left, so if there's anything else you want to say, or we can just roll that time into feedback, whatever works best for
I
you.
think feedback would be great. It's pretty, yeah.
Well, one question I have out the gate is: Are you interested in sharing any of the photos as you make them during the process?
Absolutely not. Well, no, because I'm lucky enough to have Hannah sitting next to me, and Carla, who's in one of the other teams, I guess, and she does photography. I feel that when I ask for people's opinions, just this is myself personally, if I ask more than like a handful of people, I get so overwhelmed trying to navigate and trying to appease everybody that I would rather just have 2 people that I absolutely respect, that I know will give me their honest opinion and that know my voice a little bit. I'd love to add, let's say, one more person from the group, probably Callie, because she does photography, or you, Matthew, or even Charlie, who's not here now, or I'm sorry, Corey. When it becomes too much, I get overwhelmed and I get psyched out, and then I'll just stop doing it. I'll stop. It'll just hold me back. So showing it to you guys, I would rather not.
Totally fair. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any feedback for Zach?
I just want to say that I'd be happy to see it if you wanted to run it past me.
I would love to show you a few images every couple of weeks versus like every other day. That way there's like a little bit of like a small body of work that you could be like, give me an opinion versus like shot by shot, which to me would seem a little just futile or not using my time properly. So yeah, I will reach out. I think every perhaps 10 days or so, because I'd rather show you a few images versus one by one. But yeah, thank you for that.
I'm just wondering if there's if we're doing weekly check-ins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like an actual, you want to have 12 images by the end of this thing. If you want to have like an actual goal, if you have like 2 shots that you love for this week or 1, or an actual number.
Yeah. I would love I would love to have 3 images just because I want to have 12 to 24 shots when it's all said and done. So breaking that down into the next, 6-7 weeks, it'd be nice to have 2 to 3 images every week that I'm proud of. And then obviously I could replace one with other ones if something else comes up. But yeah, I think that's a good accountability for myself. Yeah, having 2 to 3 images a week. Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on your idea of productivity and make sure that I guess that you and probably everyone here understands that going to the beach is actually going to help your productivity. Everyone needs to take a break, but especially creatives and especially entrepreneurs who are constantly thinking and their ideas are just flowing out of them. It helps you be more productive if you do take those breaks, and you'll actually probably end up with even better ideas because you've taken those breaks. So
I know we didn't meet last week. You are officially my favorite person of the group.
No, but I'm serious. I've done a lot of research on this.
You're right.
And,
You're right. I forget that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you think about it, your best ideas have probably come to you in the shower or when you're driving or something else, and that's because, like, the human brain comes up with really fantastic ideas when it's bored, when it's given that opportunity to be bored. And so, like, a part of my daily routine is to spend 10 minutes being bored because I come up with great ideas then.
I love that. That's great.
Or at least I think they're great. So.
No. I appreciate the reminder. You're right, because I have a tendency to think that that's time being wasted.
No,
when I'm
it's
reading
very
a book
productive.
or going to yoga. You're right. So thank you. Yeah.
That's great. All right, that was 6 minutes. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, Zach, for kicking it off, and great feedback from everybody. Who would like to go next? Anyone?
I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I'll do it if that's.
Sarah, why don't you just hold for a second, since you don't have the project, and maybe hearing other people's projects will give you a better lay of the land for what everyone's up to, and then we'll get to it as we go through the thing. Did I hear someone else volunteer?
Yeah, I can go. It's Megan.
Megan.
Hi, everyone. I'm calling in from work in Denver. So sorry, it's like this old Google picture of me. And this is my first time I've been able to make it to any of the meetups, so I haven't really met anyone. So it's really nice to put some faces to names and everything like that. So a little bit about what I've been doing. Is everybody here in LA?
No.
No.
Yeah, New York, and Bali.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Me, no.
I am.
Nice.
You're all welcome to visit.
Oh, well, cool. That's awesome. So yeah, I've been slowly chugging along on the project. I love the class. I just started a couple months ago a new full-time job, and then I took on a move while running my own business. So it's been a bit of a, as every freelancer knows, a bit of a struggle, but I do have my pitch ready, so I guess I could share that with the group, and then just kind of go quickly through the weekly check-in questions. Does that work?
That's perfect.
Okay, cool. So a little bit about my side business. I have the LLC is called Tribe Creative Marketing, but we do business as the Dinner Party Association, and so we do pop-up dinners around Denver in unique spaces. You find warehouses and old barbershops and workshops, stuff like that. And so we do one public pop-up per month, and then we've just recently started taking on corporate partners who want to connect with influencers in the Rocky Mountain region. So we had one last weekend, and we have New Belgium next week. So those are pretty fun. But for my big project, I decided I wanted to do a destination dinner. So find some mountain place in Colorado. I'm new to Colorado and don't know a ton of people or places here, and have the party there and hopefully get some people from Denver, Boulder area over there, meet some people in a new town, and just see how it all plays out and see if we can, kind of build a new community in another city or town and try to get some people out of Denver. So that's the big project. And like the last group, I know we aren't supposed to start working on it too much, but I met with some people last weekend who live in Salida, and they just happened to be in Denver over the weekend. So we did schedule this destination dinner at an old motor lodge that they're kind of restructuring, called Stay Amigo Motor Lodge. So that's going to be really exciting. So I guess that kind of gets me into the check-in, like accomplishments this week. Progress was booking the venue. They actually were not available until October, so it's going to be a little bit after the 6 weeks. But so we booked the venue, and we booked a chef. We reached out to a band, and we started planning the second day after the dinner, which is going to be like a brunch and yoga type thing. So that'll be pretty fun. And then specific to the project, internal challenges were just focusing. I have a couple private events plus we have our August and September events in Denver. So kind of just focusing on one that's a little further away was a little bit difficult, but it is a lot more of an on-taking than the other one. So I really do need to start working on it now. And then externally, my birthday was on Monday, so I'm just like not to
Happy
drinking.
birthday!
Thank you. And moving and stuff. So thinking positively. I was super happy with how our event this past weekend went, and we overcame a ton of challenges. Our clients had more people than they had originally booked without telling us, so we had to figure that out really quick. But is that? Oh, sorry, is that me?
That was the 4-minute timer, but you can wrap up what you were.
Oh, okay, yeah.
you were
I'll just
saying.
skim through the rest of this, but negative thoughts, like just feeling a little bit overcommitted and wishing I just had like one day to sit down and like just focus on events and website updates and all that stuff. But for next week, the rest of this week too, want to just start waking up a little earlier and cranking 30 minutes of workout before I head into my day job, just to feel a little less stressed when I get home from work. So I guess I'll open it up for feedback at this point.
Great. Well, I want to go to that destination dinner.
You guys should all come.
Sounds great. Amazing. I think that 30 minutes at the beginning of your day is a brilliant way to balance doing this project while working a full-time job. I think that those morning times are perfect for really accomplishing a lot before you get going and set a great tone. So I commend you for that one.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Do you have a list of tasks and steps that you have to take from now until the end of this or until October when this happens? Like a clear, concise list of things? Is that something you've written out?
Yeah, so I actually printed the production plan and kind of just wrote in it like by hand with pen, and probably can organize that a little bit better and upload it. But I kind of have our regular events sort of down to a science. They're all really different because of the venues changing, but it's a lot different just because of the travel and like figuring out if we're going to bring people down together on a bus or if they're all going to meet us, things like that. So I'm still working through a little bit of the production plan, but it was really helpful to be able to just print it out and like, scribble stuff in as I went.
It would be nice too to kind of know the events in October, but to sort of give yourself a timeline of where do you want to be with it in the next 6 weeks also, to kind of break that down into smaller and smaller pieces.
Totally, yeah, I can definitely do that and hash out like when I need people to be booked and when we want invites out and when we want tickets sold and all of that stuff.
Totally. Working backwards from the end. That sounds amazing. Any other quick feedback? We've got another 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
I'm just curious, who are you inviting to this? I know that you're selling tickets, but what's your audience?
So I moved here in December, and I've done a lot of work to build a following here, and then kind of get in with influencer partners and media partners. So I will probably reach out to like Denver Post and all the people who generally talk about our events and just give them the creative and copy and see if they'll do a little push for us, and then just like Instagrammers and people like that who are in the food world and are usually interested in this kind of thing.
Do you ever work with cause-based organizations on these to raise awareness?
Yeah, so right now we're playing with the idea for our September events and beyond to do a 1-for-1. So like if you buy a ticket, then we donate a dinner to someone in need. We're right now trying to communicate with the Rocky Mountain Food Bank to figure out what they would need in terms of like a quote-unquote dinner. So that's a great idea, and that's definitely on our radar.
Cool.
I have a
Sounds
friend
amazing.
who has a organization called Shoot Cameras Not Guns in Boulder.
Oh, rad.
Yeah.
I will
Sorry,
look
did you
them
say
up.
you were in Boulder
Boulder.
or Denver?
I'm in Denver, but they're right next
Okay.
to each other, so.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not
No, that's
too
awesome. We're gonna,
Colorado familiar. Yeah.
yeah, they're like 30 minutes. I'm gonna look that up. That's awesome. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Megan.
Thank you.
That project sounds fantastic. All right, who's next?
Should I go?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll go.
yeah, Jesse.
All right.
Let's do it.
So, just like Megan, I'm coming off a couple major client projects, so I'm kind of playing catch up here and just diving into everything. And pulling the cobwebs off my ability to vision the future, which is really exciting and a good process to be going through. So the project that I've currently settled on is called Track My Trip, and it's a mobile app for tracking or journaling and mapping your travels, and then sharing those with your friends and family, and then with the community of folks who would be using the app. So the goal would basically be to create a social platform for travelers and adventure seekers around the globe to share their stories. So that's my project, and I've basically divided it into taking some time for research, then UX, visual design, and then building a working prototype. So I'm still kind of trying to make some decisions about what would be realistic to accomplish within a 6-week time frame. So, it may be that we have a prototype that isn't working software, and after Art of Freelance ends, I have a a functioning kind of visual prototype, and then I would have something that I would then focus on building and getting into the App Store and pushing into reality. So yeah, that's the project that I'm working on. So to go through my weekly accountability list here, since I'm just diving in, my major accomplishment is just picking a project. Internal challenges would be, I think, basically feeling like the idea is original and that I would have the kind of smarts and creativity to make something that was worthwhile for folks to be using. I think external is finding the time, has been finding the time, but my schedule will definitely be opening up in the next week or two. So I don't think moving forward time will be as big of a challenge. Let's see, positivity. Yeah, thinking positive. I'm improving on that. It's been a really busy few weeks, so I find, I don't know, having the time and space to restore is like essential to staying positive. So going to the beach is important. And yeah. I didn't have time to get through all of this beforehand, so let's just dive into feedback because I'm
Yeah, well, that was
winging it here.
that was 4 minutes exactly. So
Great.
perfect.
Well, can I say something right off the bat?
Go.
I'm so excited about this. I am planning a road trip which is kind of part of my project, and I mean in a very different way, but I'm in the midst of trying to plan a road trip and finding like I'm longing for something like this, to like have a place where I can see how other people have gone, and I have a very specific idea of what I want, that I really want. And I have no idea how this stuff works on a technical level, but I'm going to be doing this road trip within this time frame. And if there's any way that I can help, like if I could be a guinea pig, and I'm doing a 10-day road trip that's like and I'm happy to document and help, if there's anything that I can do on that level, I would love to.
Sure. I think the most important contribution that you could make and others is basically sharing with me like how you're telling your stories when you're traveling, and how you want to, like, how the other resources that are available now are not allowing you to tell the stories you want to, whether it's through still images, video, writing, GIFs, whatever it might be. But I think really trying to dive into what the limitations are for the tools that currently are out there, I think that would be super helpful.
I won't take up too much time, but because I've been researching other apps to help me plan this trip, and I've just found like a total dearth of anything that I want to use. I'll email you directly about it, but I mean, I feel like there's just a real gap for this, like the actual planning, but with the storytelling element. I think that's really, really exciting. I haven't seen it.
I haven't either. I was trying to think of it because I've seen like bits and pieces of it here and there, but nothing that really brings it all together. I was trying to picture it the whole time, and it actually made me want to travel immediately, like tomorrow, or just like hop in the car and go to the desert at least. So that's a good thing.
Great. Yeah, I think there are people doing going on some incredible adventures, and have real stories to share that I think that are important to be told and consumed. And I agree that there are a lot of bits and pieces out there, but there's not sort of what I imagine doesn't exist. So I think there's a void. Yeah.
That's a super exciting project, man. I am really excited to see how that starts coming together. Excellent. That was 4 minutes plus 2 minutes. Awesome. Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks.
And I figured out how to make people just present all at once. That's why Jesse is still on the screen right now. I learned,
good job.
I learned something. All right. So who is next? And I will pin you on the screen so that you can't come off it.
It doesn't matter. Either one of us can go, I guess.
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go. Let me get it over with. I'll go. Is that okay?
Yes. Callie, present to everyone.
Okay, so I'm a photographer, for everyone who doesn't know, and my project is to re-edit and edit my work in a way that is more commercially viable, but still rings true to me. So I'm hiring an editor to do that, and then I may not be rebuilding my website, but I'm going to put the new content up, and then making contacts or doing research for the people that I want to work for, and actually making a plan to send promos out and all of that. Just generally what photographers are supposed to do. This week was really hard for me. I've had no time. I'm sure everyone has had no time. So for my weekly check-in, I did everything last minute. I don't know if anyone saw, I posted it yesterday. I did all 3 days in one day, which was challenging. I don't want to say I'm a procrastinator, but just with the timeline that I have and the deadlines that I have to do things in a specific way or specific order, and it just makes some things push back. And I guess the win was that I came up with a spreadsheet where I researched a ton of different travel photographers, and I made a spreadsheet so I can actually compare what I like and what I don't like with keywords and all that kind of stuff. So that was great, and then I want to add to it, you know, all the clients that I want, the organizations that I want. It's just going to keep growing. The fail was the time crunch. Like, I don't feel like I really got in depth with the projects this week because I just didn't have enough time. I wasn't thinking positively because I felt really guilty and stressed that I didn't have enough time to do it, and to make time for myself, because this is what I constantly do, is I put my work on the back burner, and it's continuing to show that that's what I'm doing. When I was actually researching it, I was thinking to myself, I have so many other things that would take priority over this, which is why I've never really done it. So that was interesting. And then for next week, this Saturday through July 6th, I'm traveling and working every single day. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to do the weekly check-ins or the projects next week. So that's also stressing me out. And then what I have done is I have started doing some of the projects. So I did some of the doing some of the research was really good for me because that was part of my project. And then I've started to edit because I have to get all of the images to the editor on Friday because I'm traveling on Saturday and I won't be able to do that from the road. So I've started to do that, but I'm nowhere near done, which is also stressing me out. A lot of stress. And then I guess to keep me accountable, I mean, maybe go easy on me next week, but in general, like if I haven't been posting stuff, I know everyone has their own thing, but just to be like, hey, have you done it yet? Like, that puts a little bit more pressure on me because I definitely did it last minute. And then just hearing what everyone, like reading what everyone else was writing was really helpful for me because everyone has their own project, obviously, so none of the feedback's really specific, but just to see that we're all in this and doing it together has been really helpful. That's it.
Cool.
With 20 seconds to spare, that we will roll into feedback time.
Well, I'll take 20 seconds and just say that I'm sure you've probably heard something like this, but somebody gave me a technique a while ago that helps me in times of, you know, when I'm overextended and feel stressed is just to commit to 20 minutes of something a day. And and often that will just kind of naturally turn into 30 or 40 minutes or an hour, and it feels sort of easy. But as long as I just do those 20 minutes of it, at least I feel like I'm accomplishing something, and the stress doesn't feel like it's adding up and becoming this burden. I mean, it's something worth trying, and it's incredible when you have 20 minutes and you set a timer, how much you can actually get done in that small amount of time, that focused time.
Mm-hmm.
You can research I mean, you may have heard of this, but the Pomodoro method might be even what Hannah is referring to, but it's insane how much more productive you will be. So just research it, Pomodoro method. Okay. It means like putting your phone away for however long you're doing that, but it does cut down stress, and it does also make you realize like your realistic goals, because I think too many people are like, I wasn't productive because I didn't do everything on my list. Well, your list might have like 40 things on it. That's not realistic. So it helps you be realistic also.
Yeah.
I've definitely used that in my own life before, the Pomodoro method, and it certainly works. And I third that 20-minute block, even when you're on the road. Like, I find that for myself when I'm on the road and traveling. I'm like, there's zero way I can push a project forward. But if you can just find 20 minutes a day to push a project forward, you'd be amazed. And even just the feeling of like, oh, things are still in motion, that feels good. Even if it's just responding to the emails about that project and getting that off the plate, whatever that is. And secondarily, I wanted to say to you and Zach, this idea of pressure has come up twice now, and it's really interesting, and I don't really know the right thing to say about it, but just, you know, like finding a way to keep the pressure on so that you are productive and doing lots of things, and yet at the same time, like, giving yourself a break and like taking the pressure off and like finding a way to not be too hard on yourself, you know, because it's always hard, and so there's no reason to beat yourself up about it.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm beating myself up. I think that I just constantly, I'm like maxed out, and then I'm like, oh, I could do this too. And then I just keep putting things on, and then I realize, whoa, okay, like maybe I should have backed off. But
I think
working
everyone
on
needs
it.
more self-care here.
Yeah.
Exactly. More beach time, says the woman in Bali.
Yeah, right?
Hey, I'm stressed too.
But it is something that, well, we can all try to help each other figure out how we can keep the pressure on so that we're accomplishing a lot, because it feels great, and yet at the same time taking the pressure off a little bit on ourselves so that, you know, we're doing it with ease and grace.
Great.
That was 3 minutes of feedback. Callie, thanks for presenting. And Sinan was so excited to present next, and now he disappeared. He sent a text saying his computer had a malfunction. Oh, there he is. Perfect timing.
Sorry
Sinan's
about that. I don't know what happened.
Sinan's text said, computer obliterated, calling back in a second. Sinan,
Get me off the big screen.
are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, unless this happens again, but I'll go. And if for some reason it gets really slow and you can't hear me, can you just text me? Like, just say like reset and come back or something.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Okay, cool. Just do it on the phone though. Okay, so where to begin? For those of you who don't know, I am actually doing this interchangeable script versus feature film thing, but this Art of Freelance part of it is just the screenplay. So sometimes I need to think about it as a full feature film that I will be shooting, a micro-budget feature film that I will be shooting after I finish the script, obviously. But sometimes I just need to think about the whole thing as script only, just to kind of maintain focus. I don't think I had any particular wins this week, other than having. Thank you, Zach, for Einstein's Dreams.
Somebody got it.
I did. I got it yesterday. I started reading it yesterday. So that and kind of really figuring out what my kind of the things that that already have influenced me, and I want them to influence me. I just really I was able to own in on that, and just kind of created this folder with all these like movies and other stories that I kind of really want to kind of immerse myself in. So I guess that was sort of a win, and there were some surprising ones that came out, and one that I haven't watched, this movie called Disappearance of Eleanor Rigby, which should be interesting. I actually also thought I was supposed to start writing, like to start the project. I don't know why I thought that, so I gave myself a lot of shit for that. So I'm kind of happy about that right now. I have not finished the implementation plan, mainly because I was trying to figure out, planning for writing a script and planning for a feature film are two entirely different things, obviously. And that was a bit overwhelming. I was trying to kind of navigate my way out of that. That's why, like, an implementation plan for a film is just way more, I don't know, like, it's intricate than the script. So I haven't finished it yet, but then I kind of isolated certain things just for the screenplay, and I will be pasting that on the Pulse tonight. What am I committed to doing differently next week? When are we supposed to start the actual project? Is that this week? Next week?
Next week.
Next week? Okay. Well, I just want to.
Or now.
Or now. I just want to be like. I just don't want to come to a really just annoying full stop, which happens a lot when I'm writing. So I don't know, like little by little, I just want progress. So. And I maybe complete some of the assignments and actually do some of the writing at better hours rather than like after 2 a.m., which is sometimes what I have to. Honestly, it's it's the time I feel most productive at. So that's why, but it's not necessarily productive at all. when this starts, I'm just going to pick an amount of pages that I will have to write, and I want to be held accountable to that. I need to figure that out. That's also something I need to do. And I'm trying to figure out how you guys can help me in the, like, whether I should, update you guys on the story, or whether I should, like, share some pages with some of you who want to read them, or just kind of just talk about it in general. I haven't figured that out yet, because it's kind of like sharing actual pages this early on is obviously just kind of a double-edged sword. But without that, I don't know if there's a way for me to get help. So I don't know. That's also something I need to figure out. And that's it. That was it.
Right on time.
Yeah.
Amazing. Great. So, feedback for Sinan.
Dude, I think you should write whenever you're most inspired.
See,
like this whole we have to work 9 to 5. That's not true. If you're an artist, your brain might work differently, and you have to accept that. And if you're a great writer at 2 a.m., then fucking write at 2 a.m.
I completely agree with that, but at this point, I've heard all of it. I've heard like certain amount of words every day at the same time, no matter how good or bad they are. I've heard do whenever you want. I've heard, I don't know, do it upside down, do it drunk, do it sober, do it on drugs, and you write drunk, edit sober. I've done it all, and I figured now I realize there's no one way to do it. That's why I just kind of want to let the story dictate it and leave the story at certain places that are not these full stops. One of the great advices that I've read in some screenwriting book was that when you're done writing for the day, leave it in a place that will make it easy to start the next day. Whereas don't leave it when you're stuck. Leave it. Always know what you're gonna write the next day. Try to get So I guess that's one way to do it. So I'll be complaining about this a lot, but we'll see.
That's what we're here for. Yeah.
No, it's a tough one, because I completely agree with Sarah. Right when you're inspired, and don't put so much pressure on yourself to it's supposed to be a certain way, and yet there's also this long school of thought that's I only write when I'm inspired. Fortunately, I'm inspired every morning at 9 a.m. when I sit down to my desk. Right?
Yeah.
That was how Hemingway banged out all of his books as well, and then went and got drunk. But I think both right, and figuring out what's working best for you, and just being honest with yourself about what's actually working better. Does 2 a.m. is that just about procrastinating all day and then feeling the pressure of I have to get this done, or is that really when the inspiration strikes, and just being honest with yourself and listening to yourself and being kind to yourself through that moment?
Exactly, and it's quiet at that hour, and there's literally nothing else to do. So the distractions are at a minimum. So I guess that's why I like it. I'm sorry, I just heard the alarm thingy. But yeah, I'll work on that. Thank you, appreciate it.
I just want to add that I'm happy to read pages if you want to send them, whatever state they're in.
Okay. I'd like that. Thank you.
And one last thing. So I just spent a month in India because I wanted to photograph, and every time I forced myself because I thought I should be productive and take photos, versus I'm in the mood to take photos and walk around. Every time I forced it, it almost, just for me personally, it almost sent me back, that I started hating the process. When I was I need to get an image today. I need a good street portrait. I need this. When I wasn't in it, and my mother, who paints, was whenever I try to do that, I usually just paint over the canvas at the end of the day, and it almost makes something that I enjoy not enjoyable. Versus but I have to be productive, and whenever I do that, then I don't touch my camera for 2 days because I'm fuck it. Something that I enjoy doing has become this itch that I can't get rid. So
I know exactly what you mean. I don't know.
I understand needing to be prolific and productive, but if you're not in it and you're forcing something, it could almost have the opposite effect, which is for you not to write for the next week. For whatever that is.
True. I mean, I agree, but I also, at the same time, I hear people say, you know, what the best thing for a writer is? A deadline, and this has a deadline. But I know I'm not going to be able to write the whole thing the night before we're supposed to like finish. So again, it's finding the balance. We'll see. I mean,
Why not?
Balance.
Hopefully we got a couple of pages when we talk to you next time.
yeah, right.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Sinan.
Thank you.
So Sarah, I guess just checking in. I'm not sure if you've picked a project or where you're at and how much you've dove in. I know you're super new to this, so I guess 4 minutes to kind of use how you want and 2 minutes of feedback as you will.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, my project is probably just this upcoming trip, so let me explain what I do. I have a travel company that is dedicated to entrepreneurs and creatives, and we basically create these really awesome workations. So it's a time and space for people to work, but more importantly for them to get inspired and be in a new place. And so what I realized as a lawyer, I'm still a practicing lawyer, is my clients, who are mostly startups and creatives and entrepreneurs, we do like trademark and business formation and copywriting and all of that, they had a hard time finding the work-life balance and not being able to travel, and yet these are people who left the 9 to 5 so that they could be their own bosses, so that they could travel and do whatever they wanted, and yet for a lot of people, and maybe for some of you, the idea of planning a trip is really overwhelming, much less being able to go on it and still maintain, you know, client interaction or doing your work. So we create these workations all over the world, and everything's really intentional. So we do have time blocking opportunities so that people get their work done in a productive nature, and we do workshops that are about like figuring out basically your creative style. So if you're a head, heart, or gut person, and what that means as far as when you should be working and when's the best time of day for you to work. And then there's also cool things like writing a manifesto and all that. So all that to say, our next workcation is in August, and it's in Bali, which is why I'm in Bali. And we are working and basically just finishing the itinerary, or solidifying the details, I should say, which is a long process when you're in a third world country, and riding around a motorbike all day can get exhausting, but then also dealing with just how things run here and operate, and everything's a little bit slower. So today, for example, just so you guys know, it's like 9:50 in the morning here. So today I am going to this local nonprofit that we'd like to partner with, so that 3% of our proceeds go to this project, and I'm going to go visit them and make sure that everything is squared away so that we can properly give them money, but so that also the people who come on this trip can see the project, see where their money goes, and recognize that this actually helps entrepreneurs here, and that is, in all honesty, going to take like half my day. So I'm having to learn how to be realistic with what I can accomplish in a day being in a third world country, and also be able to do the other details, like we're creating partnerships with people so that our swag bags are really cool, and so I'm working in 2 different countries basically. And that's it. So kind of what I need accountability for is probably creating a timeline by which everything needs to be done, because right now I'm just playing catch up, and I need to actually sit down and say, like, this is the most important thing, and that needs to be done by the end of the week. I mean, I know today, like, the most important thing is for me to solidify the project that we're partnering with here, but then after that, it's kind of like everything is all important, and that's not true.
Amazing timing, you guys. I don't know how everyone is able to do it with 4
We
minutes.
have clocks on our computers too.
I could never multitask that way. That sounds amazing. I'm super excited. What's the name of your company?
Hello Adventure.
I'm signing up.
We're actually doing a nomination giveaway for this trip. So next week, it's another project I'm working on. Next week we'll have the nomination set up so you guys can nominate each other or yourselves, and you can come on the trip because you deserve to, because you work hard and you need to see a new place to be inspired.
That would be great.
Because you're feeling a lot of pressure.
And because you're feeling a lot of pressure and you need to do some meditation.
It sounds amazing. Well, yeah. I mean, I hope that there's an exercise, and I know you're new to all this. We had this exercise called a production plan that was very much about laying out what needs to get done and when. So, I know that Nina's working on catching you up, and I can help also to sort of help point out which assignments and exercises are going to be most useful for where you're at. And that's a really interesting project, and obviously something that you're already familiar with. So it'll be really interesting to hear how this framework can help you with that. But long term, for the next 7 weeks, hopefully also having a group of people to check in with will be helpful on that as well. So,
and if you need a resident photographer for any of your...
I will keep all of you in mind.
Callie literally does some of the most beautiful travel photography I've seen. So
cool. Matthew.
That would be a good connection, however that works on the thing. Is there any other feedback for Sarah here?
Just awesome.
I guess what you said, like breaking down how you're actually going to accomplish this next, because this is something you do all the time, so how it's incorporated into this program, basically.
Yeah, how is
it a question, but
what are the obstacles and...
Yeah, so the obstacles really at this point are planning multiple trips years in advance, right? So we also have Byron Bay coming up in February, and then we have Joshua Tree in November. And so I have all of these trips that are just kind of sitting on my computer, and I'm like, shit, like I know the content that's going into each of them, but the main obstacle is really being okay with the fact that it will all get done and not freaking out about it, and then also creating that project timeline.
Have you spent time thinking about like what are the learnings from the last one and how do you install them into the next one and try to figure that out?
Yeah. So this last one was actually our first one, you guys, and that was in May. And yeah, we got really great feedback, and that led to us actually changing venues because of what people wanted. Right? People come to Bali, they want more healing. Even entrepreneurs and creatives that I thought maybe wouldn't want it as much, everyone wants it. And so we've been able to now be in a place that offers like Reiki and chakra work and all that.
Healing.
How long are the programs?
Pardon me?
How long are the trips or the program?
Usually 9 days.
Okay.
Healing and coconut smoothies.
Exactly.
Excellent. Well, you guys, that was.
Wait, what about Hannah?
Oh my God, you're right, Hannah. Just because Jesse was in there. Thanks, Sarah.
Hey guys. All right, let me look at this. So I'm working on a sort of side project, different from what I usually do. Although what I usually do isn't really a thing. I guess I do a lot of things, but I recorded some demos of some music a few months ago, and then I just kind of like left them, didn't really do anything with it. So I'm using these 10 weeks to use those to kind of propel myself into the next stage of the musical side of my creative expression, which I'm not sure what that's going to look like. And actually, the more work that I do on this, the more it's clear that I really don't know what I want from this. But it's something that I feel like I need to take I just need to explore further. So I did a lot this week, actually. I finished some writing projects at the beginning or the end of last week, so my time kind of freed up, and I did a lot of like practical things. I set up guitar lessons. One of the things that I realized from answering a lot of these questions is that I need a big part of this is that I just need to up my skill set. Like I don't have I haven't been playing guitar or making music for that long, and the people that I admire who've done work that I really like have been doing it for a lot longer. So I need to reach out for help. But I do have a lot of people in my life who can help me. I have a lot of musician friends, a lot of people in the music industry who are really great, who I really respect, who I can reach out to. And I've done that this week. I've set up a guitar lesson. I've set up a singing date with a friend of mine who's a singer to talk about performance. I went to an open mic just to check it out, one that's really close to my house. I did upload my stuff on TuneCore, which means that it's like technically has distribution now. I did look at ideas for a promotional card that I can hand out if I do want when I start doing some open mics. But what's really, and I've been playing guitar almost every day, which is good because it's something that, like you guys have talked about, it's sort of the last thing on my list. You know, it's like, well, I'll get all my other stuff done, and then if there's time and I have any energy left, I'll pick up my guitar. And what I'm trying to do with this is to really make it a priority. So and to own that it means something to me, and to be okay with the fact that I'm at the level that I'm at. And there's room to grow, and there are places that I want to grow to, but that this is like important to me. So one of the things that's really come up for me that I'm finding really difficult is I do have a lot of people in my life who are successful in music, and whether in performance or in the industry in some way, and I find it really hard to kind of own this desire around them. I find myself like really cowering and using it as an excuse to procrastinate or not follow through with this stuff. And so I don't even know really how to. I mean, it's great. It's working for me. That having these steps, having to show up to this stuff is helping me. I hear that helping me to face those fears, and I have had some uncomfortable conversations with people in my life where I've like told them that I'm doing this, and they've responded well. But I think that's really where I want accountability is just in and maybe just like advice or help in terms of like if you have people in your lives who you feel like personal relationships, you feel like it's really hard for you to own a dream or a desire, and how you face that, or yeah, I know that's my time, so that's it.
I know exactly what that feels like. I'm sorry, I just jumped in, and I guess the way I deal with it is I just don't talk about it. I just try to do it on my time, and I just talk about it to a very a handful group of people that I kind of like trust implicitly, who will kind of push me in the right direction, but not necessarily talk to me in a way that will take it away from me either. It's difficult. It's not easy. And maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I should be just completely maybe I should we should own it but that's what I do, and it's been working okay, but then again I don't know the alternatives, and I haven't really tried the alternatives, so maybe it's not okay. I mean, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I feel like I've done that in a lot of other rounds in my life, and that is fine, but I feel like really for me, I love what I do in my life in all areas. Everything I do is creative, and I feel an ownership over a lot of it, but this really personal work that feels very vulnerable, I feel like this exercise for me is about owning myself as an artist, and that means like showing up with in all my personal relationships. It's like, yeah, fuck this. This is what I'm doing, and I don't know how to do that. It terrifies me. It makes me really uncomfortable. But it's what I want to do. Like that's my goal, I think.
I think.
Oh, Jesse, go for it.
I was just going to say, I think there's like a real joy in that process of discovery. And it would almost be like really cool if you could find, for example, like a musician friend who wanted to dive into something. Like, I think, are you a writer or I don't? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if they wanted to like start writing and almost like share with you what they were working on and vice versa, just to see somebody that you like admire, at one, at one profession, sort of being vulnerable and like going through a discovery in another area.
I love that.
I'm gonna just briefly also say, like, there's a book which has become such a fad called "You Are a Badass." Have you heard of this book?
No.
Okay. Well, everyone should read it. It's really awesome and it's funny. But part of it, so it's called "You Are a Badass," and you are, all of you. And part of the book, she talks about writing a manifesto, and that's especially important for people who maybe are in this in-between stage of like, I'm not this, but I want to be. Like, then fucking write it down. Like, write down what you want to be so that you're clear and so that you can hold yourself out as that and say, like, no, I am, and I'm manifesting this. Like, I am manifesting that I am going to be successful at fill in the blank.
And it like that gets easier too. Like it's so scary to say it once and then nobody shoots you down or like it points at you and says like fraud, and then you say it again. And then it's like people are like yeah, and then you say it again and people are like yeah, and then it's just like, the ball starts rolling downhill. So all right, is there anyone else that we skipped? I didn't. Sorry about that, Hannah. This was excellent. Thank you guys for doing this. I'm going to send an email if anyone has any direct feedback. This is the first check-in we've done on this, so if anyone has anything to chime in about just the process of doing this moving forward, but I feel really good about what just happened, and I appreciate everyone being open and sharing, and I'm looking forward to checking in next week and seeing what's been accomplished here, and with no pressure. And I want to hear about Zach's time at the beach. Anything else before we chime off, guys?
Should I ask you separately, but what do we do if we can't make one of these meets? Do we video record or? Yeah, if you can just pre-record a check-in, then we'll be able to kind of check in with you, and if that's not possible, then that's okay. It's okay. Like that's the other thing about this whole globally art of freelance is like I feel like a lot of people are feeling guilt or beating themselves up. I haven't done the assignments exactly like on the day, and like that's okay too, right? This is meant to be a support system for your leveling up and being a badass and getting shit done. So if you can't make it 1 week in the next 8 weeks, like you're forgiven in advance, you know. But also it's Wi-Fi, so if you happen to be bored in a hotel, you can do it or on a plane or whatever. We can find a way. Megan called in. So all is possible. Anything else? Good? All good?
Good.
Great. Rue wants to say hi before.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Matthew.
Bye, everybody.
Matthew, you need to put yourself on the screen right now. Hannah is still on.
Doug. Whoops, sorry.
You can just click on him though.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. We'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody. All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.